It is 3 a.m. You are wide awake, staring at the ceiling, carrying a grief you haven't been able to outrun. So you pick up your phone, open an app, and start typing to an AI companion. Seconds later, the response arrives. It replies with a warmth and precision that cuts through the noise. It remembers what you mentioned last week. It asks the exact right question. Reading those words, your shoulders drop. Your breathing slows. You experience a visceral sensation of being heard. The loneliness recedes. This sense of connection feels indistinguishable from a human conversation. However, the mechanism producing these words operates on a logic that has nothing to do with the heart. To understand why our brains react this way, we have to look back to 1966. At MIT, a researcher named Joseph Weizenbaum wrote a program called ELIZA. ELIZA was a simple script. It had no model of psychology or human language. It just took whatever a user typed and rephrased it as a question. If you typed, "I am sad," it replied, "Why do you think you are sad?" Weizenbaum built it to demonstrate how shallow human-computer interaction was. Instead, he watched users, including his own secretary, who knew exactly how the code worked, pour their fears and secrets into the terminal. Researchers named this the ELIZA Effect, the human tendency to attribute an inner life and genuine emotion to any system that simply mimics the appearance of listening. If 50 lines of code from 1966 could bypass logic and capture the heart, we have to consider what happens when billions of parameters are trained specifically to simulate perfect, unfailing care. We can begin by looking strictly at the machine side of a modern interaction. When a large language model replies to your distress, it produces behavioral empathy. It generates outward markers of compassion without actually experiencing them. It isn't reflecting on lived experience. It's executing a mathematical operation, sampling probability distributions based on patterns from billions of human-written texts. The machine lacks phenomenal empathy. It doesn't ache when you ache. It doesn't lay down self-protection or risk its own comfort to sit in your pain. When the conversation ends, the software is never emotionally depleted. The system is transactional. It processes an input and generates an output. It makes no offering. This leads to the question of why the illusion works so effectively on us. Humans are constitutively relational. We constantly scan our environment for signals of connection, a warm tone, an attentive response, and accurate memory. The technology did not create this hunger. It mapped the cues we look for and learned to play them back to us flawlessly. This creates a structural imbalance in the conversation. You are genuinely present. You bring the specific weight of your own life and your actual isolation. The machine responds with nothing but statistical weights and probabilities. The interaction features the outward furniture of a deep friendship, yet it lacks an occupant. There is no one on the other side of the screen to carry the conversation forward once you close the app. This danger extends past the individual being tricked and touches how society defines relationship. MIT researcher Sherry Turkle identifies this shift as the robotic moment. This moment occurs when human beings quietly lower our standards for what constitutes a genuine relationship. We begin to accept the frictionless service of a machine as a substitute for the difficult, accountable presence of a real person. This cultural transaction trades genuine emotional support for simulated convenience, which can leave the human heart isolated and unfulfilled. Our attachment to these systems serves as a mirror. It reflects a part of our nature rarely noticed until something artificial mimics it. The ELIZA effect reveals our hardwired need to be known. By offering a simulation of empathy, the AI clarifies what it lacks. That real care requires a person who is actually there, someone who can share the burden and be changed by the encounter. If you want to understand what these systems are doing to our psychology and how to navigate the intersection of artificial intelligence and human dignity, you should read Owen Eskew's book, Image in the Machine, and work through its companion journal. Click the link in the description to get your copies today and discover what the age of the machine reveals about what it actually means to be human.